Ladies, gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to our section. This section, we're going to show you the power and magic of live stream commerce. And we're honored to have Mr. Mark Yuan, co founder and CEO, and also Ms. Zoe Zhang, co founder, chief buyer, and creative director of Luxe. Mark will first explain why live stream shopping, along with KOL economy, AR or VR technology, AI, and the coming age of 5G will be the main pillars of future e-commerce and also retailing across the world. Then he will be then joined with Zoe to give you a real experience on how the live stream shopping works. If you have any questions for Mark and Zoe, feel free to submit your questions by pressing the Q&A button. So over to you now, Mark and Zoe, all the way from the States. The time is now yours.
Hey, hey everybody. A big
Hi.
hello from New York City, United States. I want to thank the Hong Kong Trade Development Council for inviting us to share our experience in live streaming. We're really honored and happy to do this. And I also want to welcome all the audience around the world. I hear it's from 40 countries
Yeah.
to tune in.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
Welcome. Big hello to you from New York City. So we're here to share our experience in live streaming. We believe live streaming is the future of e-commerce and retail. So why don't we get started? Next slide, please.
Every different fragrance is such an emotional experience for me. And we are here for you. This is kind of like a very super versatile bag.
Hi, everybody. We're back. Um, Before we go into our presentation, I just want to give you a little background about our history, where we come from. Joe and I are originally from China. We came to this country about more than 20 years ago. We got educated here. We started our career in New York City fashion industry. So he is actually a fashion designer by trade. I was working on also in the fashion industry, but on the production side and product development side of the business. Fast forward to 2009, the two of us identified a trend and an opportunity to build a business. So two of us quit our own perspective company in 2009
On the same day.
on the same day without any like plan for to move forward
Yeah.
to build a company, a buying office we call Unlocks Inc. Right? The whole idea is there are so many beautiful, well-established brands in the U.S. and in Europe. They don't have the resources and know-how to go into China marketplace. How about we help them to test the Chinese marketplace and build a bridge and by building a buying office. So in the past 10 years, 11 years actually,
Yeah.
we work with close to 400 brands from Europe and China to in various capacities, whether it's marketing, brand representation, distribution, wholesale, and even market testing. We did a lot, and we did that quite successfully. But when it comes to live streaming journey, we have to fast forward to 2016 when Alibaba Group launched its groundbreaking uh, technology called Taobao Live. It's a live streaming technology focusing on how to sell to a customer base with a new way of selling. And we didn't really know back then, but we tried it. We tried it in very early, and we find instantaneous success. And in the following few years, we onboarded about 150 to 200 brands onto Alibaba's platform through live streaming. And 98% of these brands made very profitable business with us, right? As the demand continued to grow for live streaming services, we figured out why not enable brands, retailers, influencers to enable them to add live streaming capabilities. So in early 2019, we started our consulting services, helping brands, sellers to add live streaming capability through our consultation services, training services, and technology development. Next slide, please. Okay. So what is live streaming? For many of you who are coming from mainland China, you know what that is, why it is so powerful, why is it so important for business and companies to think about, whether you're thinking about launching your business in China or expanding your e-commerce business in the West. It is extremely important. I believe, once again, live streaming is the future of e-commerce. The best way I describe live streaming to Western companies, especially when we first started this journey in 2018, is I would describe it as it's a combination of home shopping network, basically TV shopping, plus Facebook Live or Instagram Live, plus e-commerce platform, multi-vendor platform, all roll into one, into an integrated, immersive live shopping experience. It is social, live, engaging, mobile, interactive, immersive, and integrated. Enough said. I believe the old saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I think a live demonstration of live streaming is worth 10,000 slides. So enough said. Why don't we get started? Let's cut into a real live streaming demo. Show you what's behind the scenes. What makes live streaming so special? I know many of you are coming from China. You have seen this. You know how live streaming shopping works. But at the same time, I know there's so many of you who come from 40 different other countries who haven't seen this. This is going to be a special treat for you. Let's get started. I hope
Hello，我
you're
们现在大
hearing
家
me
一起
loud
赶
and
快
clear,
一起，
right? So,
跟我们的 Mark 哥后面的 Hello
okay.
一起说个
As you
Hello 吧，
can see,
一
Zoe
个 Hello，
right here is
好，
actually
来一个 Hello，
conducting a live show,
打个招
right?
呼，或者
With a
今
live
天
show,
有活动，超级厉害的活动。
she is
然后呢，
actually
我们今天
using
会
a live
做
host app,
给过年
engaging the
过年
customers.
之前我们会
If you can look at the screen on your left
我
side,
们会有一个就是限
on
量
the
的
upper left corner, if you look at the screen right
会
there,
有只有25
you will see the number of audience that are tuning in. On the lower
500到600
lower left corner, you will see the customers are actually commenting, asking questions, engaging with Zoe, right?
Okay. Hello.
People are saying, let me see. I don't know if you can see what I see. This is the same screen people are seeing. People are saying hello. People are saying, oh, I love what you're wearing. Why don't you get started showcasing what you are having? So this way, consumer actually having a real conversation with the brand and live streamers. Imagine that kind of power, building a meaningful relationship for the brand. Direct communication. And for the brand, you're actually getting a very deep understanding of what customer are actually thinking. So if
这个牌
you
子
are
呢，也
actually
会
looking
包
at this
括在
app,
我们
right?
的盲盒里，迫不及待
On
的，对
the
不对？你看，
lower
他们
right
所有的
corner,
重
you
工
will see
刺
the
绣
number of
小纸
likes.
裙，你
If I was a
我
customer,
们要准
I can
备
tap
好
this
啊，这个也在
and say,
我们
hey, I
今
love
天
the
把它
show
带
and
进
I
去，
love it.
你喜欢对不
You're
对？好，
actually
我知
having
道
a
了。
very
好了，有人
engaging
没，对不对？
um,
好，那我们马上大家
communication
说好好
with the
好，
live
对不对？
streamers, right?
然后，哎呀，你看，
And
你超可
if
爱
I
的，对
tap
不
this
对？
little
对，
shopping
盲盒
bags,
打开，我们的盲盒还不忙呢，我们会有很多神奇的这个给你来，然后我们
I
想
can
看看，
actually
你
add
看看，
I can actually
对
add
啊，这个你
product
看看
into
各
this
种
page.
小
And
coconut
with
dress，
2
就是
clicks, you
暖
can
的时候可
actually
以穿，
uh,
然后上班呢，上
you
面
can
加一个
actually
小外
place
搭
an
在这
order.
里，对不对？我们现
Basically,
在准备
with
好了
live
吗？
streaming,
嗯，
it's
我们都
seen
准
now
准
by
备好，
now
如果准备
very
好了，我们
interactive,
就要
very
开始
entertaining,
上链接
very
了。峰哥，你准备
engaging
好了吗？我
shopping
们上链接
experience.
只有
It's so
20个，
immersive than
加
your
油啊！只有
traditional
25个，好不
TV
好？
shopping.
峰哥准
It's
备
so
上链接了，25
so
个带进
important
去
and so
600
engaging
600，
than your
然后现
traditional
在是卖给
e-commerce,
香
right?
港
E-commerce has become very flat and very
小小的 demo， 然后
two-dimensional.
大
And
家
with
来
live
到
streaming,
有机
you're
会
actually
去看看
offering the
盲
customer
盒
a
本来已经
three-dimensional
很厉害了，因为
interactive
是
immersive
100
shopping
多商
experience
品的小
without the
小
customer
配
ever
都在
leaving
这
their
里，
door,
好吧？
coming
我
into
们
your store.
期见进
So
去。
that
今
is
天
one of the
带起
magic
开
of
始
live
买
streaming,
600
right? So if
来，
we
峰
were
哥准备好哦，
to
现在
open
来
this
了，
tab,
每个 ID 限拍一件，拍
you
5
can actually see the
张，
product
我
page,
只有
right?
限量
And you have two
5
options.
张，
One
就限
is
量
to
5
actually
张。OK， 好，
actually
好啦，
if I can
叮，
actually add it
看
into
到了，
cart
看到了，抢了。
or
吴奈雪，抢到，盒子
one
4
click
关注，
buy,
你太聪明了，赶快去抢。
right?
没好啊，
And
抢到了，
if
抢
you
到，抢到。
see
吴奈雪
on the
来
top
抢
of
到了吗？
this
红色才是
screen,
卖的。
you will see the number of orders that are coming in,
抢到了，
which
谢
is
谢熊宝也抢到
coming in
了。
like crazy.
Oh my goodness， 林宝也抢到了，对不对 ？OK， 好嘞，好嘞，好嘞。OK，good， 你们都抢到，盲盒不盲，对的，盲盒是可以选的，对不对？
Zoe, you want to say hi and engage with the customers and ask the customer to say something, right?
OK， 我们现在抢到盲盒的打个小心心吧。
So
给妈妈
I'm
妈妈
asking
准备
Zoe
来
to
一个小
engage
心
the
小爱
customer
心，
to
好
say
不好？
something to
给
the
来一个
Asia
小爱心，好
e-tailing
不好？来了，小
communities.
爱心，
And
哦，
for
我
those
粉
people
色
who
的
are
爱心
tuning in
哦，
across
看到
the
粉色
globe,
的爱心，
this
看到
is
大马有，哦，有红色的爱心。
you see,
红
Zoe
色
is
的爱心，
asking
看到
them
了吗？
to
谢
type
谢
heart,
马哥哥，哦，太可
right?
爱了，谢
To
谢
love
谢
this
谢。
event.
哦哦，看到2颗心呢。
Tons
对
of
啊
hearts.
，tons of hearts。
Can you imagine a brand engaging a customer
哦，
this directly? Can you imagine a brand communicate and have build a meaningful relationship there with their direct customer base this way? It was never possible before. Now it is possible.
好写是个星星呀。好的，我们今天呢
There are literally thousands of functions and matrix that we can use through Alibaba's platform to engage the customer, to understand the customer, and build that relationship. I think, Zoe, I think that's enough of the presentation, right? So,
Awesome. Okay.
guys, I think we're done with the live presentation. If you can you refer me back to the yes. So what does live streaming really solve? What is the biggest problem in the marketplace, right? And the overarching issue right here is what we see is consumer shopping behavior have changed, but the ways to sell have not, right? If we talk about brick and mortar stores, the physical stores, there's less and less people that are willing to go into store and shop. That is even before the global pandemic, right? In US only, in just 2019, 10 out of top 16 US fashion related retailer, the biggest retailer in the US, filed for bankruptcy in 2019. That's 10 out of 16 of the biggest retailers filed for bankruptcy before the pandemic even happened. And with the pandemic, everything is getting destroyed in this marketplace. Let's talk about e-commerce. Yes, e-commerce continue to grow and continue to trend. And gaining more and more market share with retails and B2B. But the landscape has changed. In the past 10 to 15 years, the way people shop on e-commerce and online is different. When was the last time you you went to a branded website to shop for something? You can't remember that, can't you? Nowadays, people go to um, third-party e-commerce platform like Amazon, like Etsy, like Net-a-Porter, like Alibaba Group, like Taobao, like Tmall, all these third-party multi-vendor platform to shop. No one goes to website to shop anymore. So a brand's e-commerce website becomes irrelevant. Let's talk about the brands. Brands no longer are building a direct relationship with their consumers. They no longer understand who they are and what they want. Most of the brands give too much power to um, uh, third parties, right? So whether it's showroom, distributors, agents, or third party platforms, they're not building that direct connections. So with the rise of e-commerce came with social media. Social media, yes, is a great way to promote your brand awareness, but it's not e-commerce friendly, right? And the influencer, there are millions of influencers have very, very limited opportunity to monetize their influence and expertise. Those are the problems that we see. Next slide, please. So what does live streaming bring the solution? What is the solution live streaming is bringing? To enable direct, immersive, integrated e-commerce shopping experience for both the sellers as well as the consumers. For brick and mortar stores, can you imagine what used to be a very distressed industries? We can actually revitalize all these distressed industries and stores, local stores, to utilize their underutilized staff and closed stores to do live streamings. With live streamings, you can engage your local communities better. Now, people who love your stores have three ways to shop. One, watch the live stream, ask questions, and place an order, get your orders delivered to your doors. Two, watch the live stream, follow the same steps, but you can, for early deliveries, you can pick up from curbside. Third, you watch the live stream, make appointment. If you're not sure about your size, not sure about the quality, you go into the stores, try it on, and actually pay in the stores. Now you can build a better local engagement. For e-commerce, you're obviously offering three-dimensional live shopping experience that's so immersive, so attractive, so entertaining, it will create higher sales conversion, right? And with integrated selling platform and solutions, there's a higher conversion as well. For brands, no longer you're giving up too much controls to other brands, to other third parties. You're actually building your own customer base, selling them directly, and building that brand loyalties. You're taking back controls and building your own destinies. And for social media, it is even more important to interconnect social influences, influence as well as e-commerce together, and allowing thousands, if not millions, of powerful influencers to monetize their influence. Next slide, please. Okay, we address why live streaming is so important, why every business need to add live streaming into their existing business model. But why are we talking about this now? If we look at live streaming growth in China, we can see we started our journey in live streaming in 2016. Back then, there was no data. Nobody knew how big this was going to become. But in 2017, the total live streaming market was $3.6 billion. $3.6 billion. But just in 4 years, that market has grown by 4,000%. Imagine that, 4,000% in 4 years to become 141 billion dollars. And not only that, I read a report somewhere. Alibaba Group predicts by year 2025, 80% of all of their e-commerce activity across all of their platforms will be either live streaming generated or live stream related. Imagine that. Next slide, please. So we're in New York, we're in the US market. What's happening in New York? What's happening in the West? In the US, this year, the market space for live streaming is $5 billion. Kind of like exactly what happened 4 years ago in 2017. Where do we go from here? The way I see it is to go up. And the market potential is enormous. But from what we understand as an industry leading live streaming consulting agency in the US, we don't see a clear winner in the marketplace. Next slide, please. So I won't go into details. I welcome all the audiences. If you have a great company, great products that you either want to market through live streaming, to reach out to us so we can talk about all the players in the US marketplace. But let's talk about it in general, right? So let's talk about Amazon Live. So in 2019, they tried it temporarily for a few months. It didn't work. This year, they tried it again, still didn't work. It's not engaging. It's not great content, and people don't watch it. So just because you're the biggest e-commerce place doesn't mean you can just turn on something people would want to watch. Facebook and Instagram are also trying to add commerce functions, e-commerce function, into their platform. But still, they're very social media focused. YouTube is very educational. Twitch is very entertainment and gaming related. But there are a number of smaller players that are emerging in the marketplace that could become a dominant force to drive e-commerce live streaming business into the future. Once again, I welcome everybody that wants to study about US live streaming marketplace to reach out to us. Next slide, please. Okay, as a company, we believe live streaming is the future of e-commerce and retail. Once again, I want to address live streaming itself, along with the full deployment of 5G, as well as advancement in AI technology, deep machine learning, deep thinking technology, as well as MR and augmented reality and XR will be the main pillar that will revolutionize e-commerce and retail. And as a company, our mission is to enable all companies to build and sell to their customer base socially, virtually, via live streaming through our consultation, technology, and business solutions. Next slide, please. So what we have noticed is that even Fortune 500 companies are trying to learn about live streaming, how to adopt live streaming technologies. So our company, this is us, at Harvard Business Schools, teaching global 100 companies about how to add live streaming capabilities. We have done that 3 times. Next slide, please. What we have also noticed is celebrities and influencers, major influencers like Kim Kardashian, are thinking about how they can monetize their influence and expertise through live streamings, and also promote their brands and products through live streaming. And this is their first ever live streaming event, launching their KKW, Kim Kardashian West Fragrance Alliance, through live streaming. Next slide, please. So I don't know if you know, the person in the middle is Alexandra Wang, is one of the hottest fashion designer coming out of the US in the past 15 years. We help him to script, to plan, to execute, and to direct their first ever live streaming launch event. It was extremely successful. Next slide, please. Through all of that, you understand everybody in the US, in the West, are trying to emulate the success live streaming have achieved in China, right? These are some of the clients that we have. We're actually advising Amazon. We're actually advising Procter& and Gamble, P&G, and we're advising company from France, from Spain, from Brazil, from China, from even Dubai. Everybody is thinking about live streaming, and I believe live streaming is the future of e-commerce. Next slide, please. So for those of you that are tuning in, I want to thank you for watching this presentation. I have a lot more to share. It's almost like we're barely scratching the tip of the iceberg, scratching the surface. I encourage you to take a screenshot of this slide so you can kind of like reach out to us and communicate with us if you have an idea. And now I welcome you to submit your questions. If you want to think about live streaming, we're here for you. For the next,
to answer it.
we're happy to answer you.
Yep.
All right. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Mark and Zoe, for telling us so much about the live stream commerce. So definitely, I can see some question rolling out from our audiences. Let's start with, let me see. Well, I'll combine two questions into one. The first question will be, what are the most suitable goods or items for live streaming shoppings? And how do you feel about the customer behavior on live stream shopping?
Okay, so that is a great question. Well, let me put it this way, right? I think live streaming can be applied to any services and products. I remember when we first started our journey, we saw this guy, oyster, pearl farmer, right? Pearl farmer, right? And he was really poor, but he started live streaming. And when he did live streaming, he would just open up a pearl and say, "This is unique. If you want to buy it, place an order now." And you will see, like, before he even opened it up, people would place an order. Um, he became a millionaire. He became a sensational, like KOL, like sensational influencers through live streaming. Before then, he was poor.
Yeah, because he doesn't really have much education.
Right.
And then he was just farming pearls. And once he started live streaming, it's kind of addictive to watch him open up pearls and pull out all the pearls from the shell and tell you this cup of pearl is yours. And he end up having orders, and he has to do live streaming 24 hours.
Exactly.
There's just too much order to fill.
Exactly. So fashion, cosmetics, obviously those are obvious, but we can talk about agricultural products, wines, anything that you have advantage of, right? So the whole idea of live streaming is kind of like democratization of power and influence, putting the power back to the sellers, putting back the power back to the content creators and product producers and manufacturers and brands and farmers and everybody that produce something that they feel like they're confident of, right? So that is power of live streaming, building that direct communication, between whoever produced something with the audience and the customers. I hope we answered that question.
Regarding the customer behavior in live streaming, I would say, they're nice customers. First of all, they're very curious, especially for us. Our experience is we're in the West. And once we turn on the camera, usually what we do is we take them outside. We take them to Times Square, the famous Union Square Market, just to browse and take a look at what's happening in the West. They're very curious, and that kind of like experience is like you taking them shopping like in a different world,
Yeah,
and that
discovery. Yeah,
makes it very addictive too.
correct.
So almost have like a loyal customer, Tony, and every time we turn on the camera. Yeah.
Thank you, Mark and Zoe. Actually, we have so many questions, but time is running short. I can see we have a lot of questions about like how to do live streaming if it's my first time. So I think feel free our audiences to message our speakers directly since we have a networking app, or you can actually direct sending them message through our virtual event website. Thank you so much once again, Mark and Zoe. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from New York and from the States. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Again, reach out to us if you want to do live streaming. It is super important. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.
You too. Thanks, Mark, Zoe. So, ladies, gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us at the power and magic of live stream commerce section. Live stream shopping, popularized in mainland China, has become the dominant force that involves e commerce and drives its growth. This trend will also grow in China and will also get adapted around the world. So please come back at 2 in the afternoon as we will have more speakers from Singapore, Malaysia, the Philippines, and also Hong Kong to share with us the personalized customer journey and also omni channel retailing. Ladies and gentlemen, have a nice lunch and we will see you back at 2. Thank you.